All right, so we've already kind of gone over stem changing verbs a little bit last class, but we're going to get a little bit more into detail. I just kind of introduced the fact that stem changing verbs are a part of our vocab, but now we're going to learn exactly how and why we're going to stem change. Also, when we're going to do it. So as far as our stem changing verbs, some of it's going to be a review. So we have our box charts that we've been working with for the past couple months now. These are what we use to conjugate our verbs, if you guys don't remember. So with our subject pronouns, what do our subject pronouns do? Give me an example of a subject pronoun. What would be in box number 1?
Yo.
Yo. So we put yo in here. What does yo mean? I. So this subject pronoun box chart is going to be filled with various subjects that can be used in sentences. The reason that we put it in a box chart is so, at least it's a different way of organizing it, so you don't have to just repeat to yourself yo and then the following endings along with it. So I just think it's a little bit easier to memorize along with box charts. So along with yo, what's our box 2? Two, right? And what do we need for 2? Accent mark, very good. All right, box 3, we have 3 things in there. First one is L. And not like our normal L, what does it need?
Oh.
Accent mark, good. L, second one? A. And third one? Usted. Box 4? Nosotros. Box 5 we don't use, not part of our dialect. And then box 6, another 3?
Ellos,
Mm-hmm.
ellas, and ustedes.
Good. Ellos, ellas, and usted. Ustedes. Okay, so with the subject pronouns filled in, I want you guys to fill in the rest of the box charts on your bell ringer. So from memory, try to give me your AR, ER, and IR verb endings. I'll give you guys around 2 minutes to work on it. Setting the timer. And there you go. Everyone do good? All right, you got about 1 more minute. Okay, everyone seems pretty done. So, can I have a volunteer to fill in the AR box chart in its entirety? Victor, can you go? Josh, do you want to get the ER? And does anybody want to volunteer for IR?
I do.
You want to? All right. Oh, don't use the pen. The pen kind of skips out a little bit. I would just use your finger. Oh, I'm assuming that's an A?
Yeah.
Okay. So, oas, amos, and on. Good. Good. O-ace, A, amos, and N. Good job, Josh.
Thank you.
Nice job. So we got o as a, amos an, o es a, amos ain, o es a, emos ain. So with our IR, the only box, or the only ending that actually kind of reflects the fact that it's an IR verb is box 4. So what do we usually draw around it to remember?
A boot.
A boot, good. So this boot that we're drawing around the IR verbs is going to come into play especially for the stem changers. Because stem changers, we not only change the endings, but now we have to change part of the beginnings. So here are 3 examples of regular AR, ER, and IR verbs. So if I gave the subject yo for caminar, what is our conjugation going to be? Victor?
Camino.
Caminar, good. If I gave the subject to for comer, what's our conjugation going to be? DeAndre? Comes, good. And if I gave the subject eos, oops, it's supposed to be now. Eos for vivir, what is our conjugation going to be? Viven, good. So these are 3 examples of our normal conjugation, right? We just look at the subject, yo to eos, reference our box charts always help, and we come up with our new endings, because our box charts, we're going to have yo, have to match. So with stem changing verbs, we not only change the endings, but now we have to change the beginnings. So before we learn how to do those, we have to figure out what the beginning is and where the ending starts. So where does our ending start? Who has an idea? Josh?
It starts where AR is after N.
Good. So for each type of verb, right, our box charts are called AR, ER, and IR. AR, ER, and IR are our endings. So that means that everything before then is our stem. Doesn't matter how long the verb is, doesn't matter how short the verb is. Everything before the AR, ER, or IR is our stem. So now that we know what a stem is, we now have to learn the specific verbs to change it. Because stem changes don't just happen out of nowhere. There are specific types of verbs that kind of go through, and we have most of them in our chapter. We have 3 of the, I think we have 3 types of stem changers in this chapter. So we've got E to IE, O to UE, and I forgot to write this one down, U to UE. So with our stem changing verbs, one example of E to IE is empezar. So with empezar, what type of verb is it? What's its ending?
AR.
AR. So because we know where the ending is, we now know where the stem begins and ends. So empezar is an E to IE stem change, which means, like I said before, with our boot, we now have to imagine this boot around each of these box charts. Doesn't matter if it's AR, ER, or IR. All of them now have a boot around them. The reason being is because everything inside this boot is what we stem change. So what's our subject that's outside the boot? Nosotros. So if we have nosotros in any example of our stem changes, that means we don't stem change. That means it's just a normal verb. Now with empezar, if I give the subject of yo, it's an E to IE stem change. So which E are we going to choose? Because there's 2 of them, right? Yeah, okay? The last one, good. So with empezar, if our subject being yo, is in this boot, it means we have the stem change. So whenever we have a stem changing verb like empezar, where there's two e's or multiple letters that fall under the category. So for this it's e, there are some with o, I don't think there's any for you, I'm not sure. But if we have multiple letters, we always resort and we always change the one closest to the ending. So if we're going to change empezar for yo, what are we going to change it to? You have an idea?
Empieza?
Empieza, good. So he applies the stem change to the e, and then he applies our normal conjugation to the ending to make it empiezo. So for our O to UE, an example is poder. And this one's an important verb, so make sure that you start it. So poder, if I give the subject of to, with the knowledge that it's an O to UE stem change, what are we going to change it to? Because our stem ends before the ending for all of our verbs. What's it going to conjugate to? Good, puedes, right? Because for box 2, 2 is in the middle, right there, box 2. So poder is going to change to P-U-E-D-E-S, puedes, as opposed to podes. And then our only stem change for U to UE verbs, as far as this chapter is concerned, is jugar. So if I give our subject ellos to jugar, what is our stem change going to be? Angelina, can you try this one? You haven't been speaking up much. So if ellos is our subject, for jugar,
It's AM, so it would be
juegan. Good. So there's our stem. Jugar is going to change to juegan. Is everyone starting to get the hang of this? Okay, so flip over your papers. There are a couple of examples of stem changing verbs on there. So turn to your partners. You know your partners. So turn to your partners and work on it for the next 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and write them on the board. Actually, I'll give you specific numbers. Work on numbers 1, 3, 4, and 7. No, not 7. Let's do 16. So 1, 3, 4, and 16. Yeah. So if it doesn't have an accent mark, L means the. So El partido, that's the game. So when you're conjugating it, if we're saying the game, how many games are we talking about? 1. So which box are we going to go to? Good, third box.
answer number 16 isn't for there.
Hmm?
This paper's not for there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misread it. I forgot this worksheet's primarily using E to IE.
It's already had, it already has it. We need to do it.
So there's E there, but what type of stem change is it? Mhm. Okay, got about a minute and a half left. Keep working on it. Oops. That's a mistake.
It's yellow.
For number 4, because Carrera is an E to IE verb. There's already a U, right?
Oh. That's right.
Okay, hopefully there's enough space for you guys to write. Okay. Is everyone pretty much finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Beat the clock. Okay, so for number 1, empezar. Our subject is el partido. So like I was saying before with a couple of you, el partido, how many games are we talking about?
One.
1. How do we know?
Because the game.
Well, it says the game, but,
Not the games.
so we don't have an S at the end of it. And if we did have an S, what would el change to?
Los.
Los, right? Because it's masculine and it's plural. So with this, empezar, tell me how to do it. So where's our stem end?
Z. Yeah.
So our stem end's here. It's an E to IE, and we're going to conjugate it to what box? If we're talking about one game, what box are we doing?
Yeah, box 3.
Box 3, good. So if we're doing box 3, our ending's going to be ah. So empezar is going to change to what?
MPA.
Empieza, good. Empieza. So for pray for it here, number 3, what's our subject?
Mis amigos.
Mis amigos. So it's mis amigos. How many friends are we talking about?
More than one though.
More than 1. So if we're doing more than 1, what's our ending? Box 6. Because box 3, everything's singular. We're always talking about one thing. For box 6, anything that is more than one thing. Any number of things. Doesn't matter how big the number is, doesn't matter how small the number is. If it's more than 1, then we're going to box 6. So for pray for here, it's an IR verb. So where's our stem end?
R. Yeah. After R, between I.
Good. So there's our stem. What's our ending? It's box 6 and an IR verb. EN. Good. So pray for here is going to change to
Wait for hearing.
pray
Yeah.
fier en. Kind of like guy fier, right? You're supposed to laugh. Okay, so number 4, querer. What's our subject for number 4?
Yo.
Yo. So this one should be pretty easy. So our subject's yo. Querer is an ER verb. So what is our ending going to be?
Oh.
Oh, it's always O. Cross all 3. O. So since it's that's good. So since it's a stem changing verb, where's our stem end?
Between the R and E.
Good. Between the R and the E, it's an E to IE. So what's our conjugation going to be?
Quiero.
Quiero. And then our last one, perder. Where is our stem end?
Between the D and E.
Good. between the D and the E. What's our subject? Yo again, good. Even though it says siempre yo, our subject's still yo. So our subject's yo, we already have our ending up there, so what's perder gonna change to?
Here, Pierdo.
Good, pierdo. Okay, so pass forward your papers, and then we're gonna move on to some more exercises involvements. Thank you, make sure your name's on it.